Welcome back. This video is going to be all about flaxseed, why we even want it in our diet, and how you can get it in your diet every single day. So if you watched all those videos from Dr. Greger, you are starting to understand the science behind flaxseed and why we should even worry about getting it in our diet. I want to just give you the highlights. You may have noticed in those videos that he talks about lignans. It's those lignans that actually inhibit tumor growth in cancer patients. Isn't that amazing? If flaxseed can be used to help cancer patients, then we can use it as prevention. The flaxseed is so awesome because it is so concentrated with these lignans. Flaxseed has 800 times more lignans in it than any other plant in the plant kingdom. So this is easy. This is so easy to include in our diet. And then if you saw the diabetes video that Dr. Greger did, you learned that flaxseed can help if you're trying to watch your blood sugar. If you have flaxseed in your stomach, it actually blunts the blood sugar spikes from the meals that you're eating. And of course, if you're dealing with diabetes, if you're watching your blood sugar, flaxseed is an awesome thing to include because it's going to blunt the blood sugar spikes that you're used to when you have a meal, when you have flaxseed in your stomach. Yet again, if you're dealing with high blood pressure or hypertension, flaxseed is a great way. In fact, they've used it as treatment instead of blood pressure medication, and it's almost just as effective. It's a really powerful, powerful food. In fact, if you watch those videos in the playlist that is linked below, you'll see that flaxseed can have up to twice the effect of normal blood pressure medication. Remember, it's not a magic bullet. You still want to explore this True 5 nutrition or this whole food plant-based way of eating to support your best health. We definitely want to include flaxseed as part of that, and we're going to show you how. So you might be wondering how to get the most out of this amazing food, this flaxseed. Well, I have good news. If you're wondering about whether it's okay to cook it in recipes or that you always have to grind it and use it raw, the good news is there's benefits both ways. You don't damage the lignans in the flaxseed when you cook it. So either way is good. To maximize the benefits and access all the nutrition in flaxseed, there's one really important thing you need to know. You have to grind the flaxseed before you use it. Those flax seeds have such a strong hull and a shell to them that it will go right through you. Our body can't even digest it. So we've got to grind it before we use it. After you grind the flaxseed, make sure that you keep it in the refrigerator in a sealed container. If you grind flaxseed and keep it at room temperature, it will go rancid. What's more is once that flaxseed is ground and in your refrigerator, it can stay there for up to a year. So grind a whole bunch and just keep it there. To get the benefit of those lignans from these flax seeds, we want to shoot for at least a tablespoon of flaxseed a day. You can go up to 3 tablespoons a day. You can go up to a half cup a day. There's been clinical trials that they've used that, and they didn't notice any weight gain with those people that used that much. I know sometimes when we start thinking about nuts and seeds, we get concerned about the fat content in that food. Even though it's a whole food, it's high in fat. So the good news is you can use up to a half cup of flaxseed a day, and you should not see any changes in your waistline. Okay, so after looking at those videos from Dr. Greger and taking a look at all the science that has been done on flaxseed, I started scouring the internet for a flax muffin recipe that I wanted to try out. I've actually never tried this recipe before, so you're just gonna try it along with me today. I was excited because if you watch the videos from Dr. Greger, he talks about all these different studies that they are actually feeding flax muffins to these people in the study to see how their bodies react and what benefits they get from the flax. So I found a flax muffin recipe. This one is just gonna make 6 muffins. So this recipe has a lot of flax in it. You'll see the recipe in the description. And this just, with 6 muffins, you're getting about a tablespoon of flaxseed in each muffin. So you have one of these a day and you've got your serving of flax. So let's put this together. We're just gonna put our dry ingredients together. Got our oats. This is whole wheat flour. You can use any kind of flour that you want. Here's all that flax and a little bit of baking soda. There is more flax in here than there is flour. Again, I've never tried these before, so we're gonna see what we think. Okay, dry ingredients done. Wet ingredients, we've just got some soy milk, some applesauce, and some date paste for our sweetener. You can also use a mashed banana instead of the applesauce if you wanted. This is a really versatile recipe. I don't know. Here goes the date paste. All right. Okay, so we're gonna get these blended really good. And then you put the wet and the dry together. So these are probably not gonna be your dessert cupcakes, but they might make a really great breakfast muffin. I'm really excited to try these. Okay. And we're just gonna mix it to the point that the dry is moistened. Not gonna overmix it. Okay, those look great. So there's not a ton of batter in here. Again, it's just gonna make 6 muffins, but let's get them in the pans. All right, I'm gonna try just a couple tablespoons in each of these. So you can see I've got these silicone muffin cups. What do you call these? I don't know, they're really floppy. So this makes it really great for not using oil. You don't need any cooking spray. Of course, this recipe doesn't have any oil in it, so these work great. I almost want 2 spoons on this. It's nice and thick. These are gonna be hearty muffins. And if you don't want the oats, you could totally do oat flour or just do more whole wheat flour. Depends on how textured you want it to be. Okay, these are looking good. I do want these pretty full because since it is kind of a thick, hearty recipe, I don't expect these to raise very much. We'll just see. I have no idea how these are gonna turn out. Okay, so we'll get those in the oven and we'll see you on the other side. If you're gonna cook with flaxseed, we have to grind it first. My favorite way to do that is to just do it in my blender. I have a Vitamix, a Blendtec would work really great too. Most blenders do fine. Also, if you have a coffee grinder or a spice grinder, you can grind small amounts of the flaxseed that way. I like doing the blender because I can do a lot at once. So let me show you how to do this. I'm doing 2 cups. Now the trick with this in the blender, if you do this slow and you let it sit there and wait for it to churn like you would on a smoothie, it's gonna turn this into a hot mess. So don't do that. I'm gonna show you how I do it and it's gonna be quick. I'm gonna leave it on a low setting for a very short amount of time and then whiz it to middle, whiz it to high, and then I'm gonna get it really moving and you'll see how that goes. And so there's still stuff at the top that's not all the way ground yet. We want all of that ground so that we can access those nutrients. So I just give it a shake and we're gonna do the same thing again. And usually I only have to do this once or twice and it works great. I usually just do 1 cup. I think it's not liking 2 cups. We'll do it 1 more. This is looking good. Okay, there you go. There's your ground flaxseed. Ta-da! There's your ground flaxseed. Remember to keep it in the fridge with a sealed lid on top so it doesn't go rancid. Don't keep this at room temperature. That will also make it go rancid. I wanted to try a flax cracker recipe. I've had flax crackers at restaurants before. I know you can buy them store-bought. I've never tried homemade. And in Dr. Greger's book, How Not to Die, he shares his favorite flax cracker recipes, so I wanted to give it a try. The recipe's in the description. I'm excited about the flavor profile: paprika, garlic, and onion. We'll see how it tastes. Seems easy enough. And water. I'm interested to see what this does, because when water comes in contact with flax, with ground flax, it turns into this gelatinous material. So 2 cups of flax to 1 cup of water. This might be pretty thick. Let's smells really good. Here we go. Again, I've got a silicone, how do you say that? I don't know what it is. It's a mat that I don't have to put oil on. So yeah, that is thick stuff. We're gonna press this into the pan. Okay. I'm gonna be honest, this kind of looks like my kids' Play-Doh. Almost want a rolling pin for this. The flax crackers I've had have always been really thin, so I'm gonna see how thin I can get these. Here's my experiment. It didn't get me the pretty rectangle I was hoping for. I'm thinking next time, maybe if we took the batter and split it into 4 groups and then spread it evenly, maybe I would be able to get a nice pretty rectangle. So we're gonna work with what we've got here, but there's something to try when you give this a shot. Let's just start cutting. We have to score this so that when you pull it out of the oven, it'll just break into these evenly funny shaped crackers. Something like that. Another easy way to incorporate flaxseed is topping your oatmeal with it. Again, we're shooting for about a tablespoon a day. If you have your ground flaxseed hanging out in the fridge, this is so easy, ready to go. Yum. Another great way to use the flaxseed is to top your salad with it. I have to tell you about the salad dressing that I found at the store. This is a dream come true for me as a busy mom to find a store-bought dressing that has no oil in it. So this is Bragg's Organic and it's their apple cider vinaigrette. There's no oil. So that's what we're gonna put on this salad and then top it with a tablespoon of flaxseed. This dressing is really yummy. You have to try it. And again, we're just shooting for a tablespoon a day. How easy is that? Now this is a True 5 approved salad. Another easy way to get flaxseed in your breakfast is putting it on your cereal. Now I don't buy sugar cereal in my house anymore. I make homemade granola and I just have to do it once a month and it feeds me and my family for breakfasts for quite a while. And it's so easy to just throw some flaxseed on here. So I like to have some milk on here. And then you get your tablespoon of flaxseed. It actually adds a really good flavor. And then you can throw some berries on there too, any type of fruit, but berries are definitely one of those things that we want every day for that whole True 5 nutrition. So now you know how to use this flaxseed. We grind it up, we can put it in all sorts of recipes. As you try those recipes, please give us some feedback. If you loved it, if you hated it, let us know. If you have questions of what we could try differently, just reach out to us, leave us some comments below. Subscribe to the channel and let us know how this impacts your health too, if you notice differences in the things that you're struggling with.